Knock on wood, we pray that you're never in an accident. But if you happen to be in an unfortunate accident, then it's the Whaley law firm. Aaron Whaley has been joining me weekly with expert advice. We have a different topic every week. And what I love about Aaron, he says, you pick it. He's been doing this long enough. He can handle any question that you may have as well. Okay, here's today's question. Because I think a lot of people, if you're in an accident, this is what you want to know. What happens if my suit is not settled? What happens if that insurance company doesn't come up strong enough, or you don't feel like it's enough money, the compensation doesn't meet the need? What happens? What's the next step?
John, again, thanks for having me on here today.
Sure.
And so that doesn't happen very often. The ultimate goal of any case is to resolve it as quickly as you can for the right value, so long as you're getting that right value. We've talked about that in the past. Make sure you don't settle too quickly. You want to make sure you're getting the full value. But once you've determined what that value is, sometimes there's sort of a conflict. Either their number's not high enough, or there's a liability dispute. Those are the two big things. There's something medical that they disagree with me on, or there's some sort of a dispute on liability. If that happens, you got to go to court.
You mentioned something, Aaron. You said that doesn't happen often. And I'm thinking, is this because of your expertise and that you have these medical experts, that you know how the system works, that you know how insurance companies work, and that you're able to maximize one of your clients' reward? Is that why it doesn't go to court often?
So it's a combination. That's certainly part of it. And frankly, that helps us get the best value that we can without having to file suit. But I'll be honest, I probably file more suits than a lot of people do. Frankly, I don't take small offers just to get rid of them. I don't like to file suit on little cases because there's time, there's money involved, and most people don't. They just won't. They'll say, look, you got to settle for whatever they're offering you, and they kick you to the curb. But I've taken to trial cases that I frankly know I'm going to lose money on, because I know in the long run they understand and know that I'm not just going to back down just because they think that a case has little value, because it may have little value to them or to the insurance company, but it doesn't have little value to my client. Okay, so even if, look, you get better, but there's still a lot of stuff that goes involved in being injured and going through this whole process. And to my client, those cases are big cases. And so you have to treat them like they're big cases, even if they're not. And so, there's still the vast majority don't, but sometimes they do.
Wow. So how does the mindset change for you? I love the fact what you just said. Insurance companies deal with this every day. But for an individual who's in an accident, this is a critical time for them. This is something they never expected. They want to make sure that medically they're okay, that they're compensated for pain and suffering. So how does your mindset change when it looks like, okay, I think we're going to have to take this to trial? What's the process like for you?
Well, see, the mindset doesn't change, and that's the key part, is because if you treat every case like you're going to go to trial in that case, then you get better value and you get better results. And that's what ultimately matters to the client, is what are the results? Because results matter in these cases for the client. Now, process changes, and that's the big difference if you actually have to go to trial or file a lawsuit. Because even the vast majority of cases where we file a lawsuit, most of those don't go to trial either. There's lots of opportunities before trial to resolve a case. And we usually do get it before trial, but not always.
You know what I like, Aaron, because I've been able to experience you and what you're about. Your passion is very evident. So you get that adrenaline going here when you get a case, and you want to maximize, not just because it's your client, because you're good at this. Do you enjoy that? Do you
Absolutely.
Because it is kind of I don't want to say it's a game of chess, because that makes it sound, it kind of diminishes an accident. But it is, in a way, negotiating is knowing what you're doing and how to move the pieces, right?
It's knowing that. It's chess. It's also kind of like a model. You start small, and you start the small pieces, and you know what the pieces are, and you know where all the pieces go, or a puzzle or something like that, and you put them together, and I know and I have in my mind what the end result's going to look like, and so I do what I can to make it look like that. Now, when you file a lawsuit, things change, and the wheels of justice they turn, but they turn slowly, unfortunately, and so and that's one of the things that you have to get across to the clients. Look, I will get us to the finish line, and I will get us to the finish line as quickly as I can. But even as quickly as I can, sometimes that just takes time. And even if everything goes as fast as it can, there are still time constraints put on us by the process. For example, when I file a lawsuit, you go and you put it in the court system and you send that out. I have to, that you see on TV, the old TV shows, and you say, you've been served. They have that kind of that process. That actually exists. That's what we have to do. Now, normally you send that through what's called certified mail, and I get a certified return receipt through the court. But sometimes I don't. Sometimes, they evade service. They don't go pick it up, or I have a bad address. And so I sometimes have to actually get private investigators to go and track people down, find them, and hand them the lawsuit, and actually get them to say, you've been served. They write it down, and I get it back. And so that process alone, that's a month on a good day, on a good case, on a quick turnaround. And sometimes that can take some time. Then there's discovery, written discovery, depositions, mediation. That's the big first opportunity to try and resolve a claim where we filed suit, and we've kind of done the initial investigation with the attorneys, because when I file suit, it kind of goes from an adjuster to an attorney. And this attorney, this is the first time they've looked at the case. And it's frustrating because I get the attorneys asking me for all these records and everything. It's like, you realize I've already given all this information to the you guys don't share information, and I swear, I don't know why they don't. I'm not gonna assign bad motives to anybody, but they don't. But we make sure they get all the information. There's process to go through. Takes time, but you know what? We go through all of it. We make sure it's done right. We help our clients along the way, and the end result is either to reach a good settlement, or if you have to take it to a trial and put it in front of a jury, get a good verdict.
Something you just said, Aaron, sparked something in me. You were talking about them not being familiar with the case. This, I would think, would be important to your clients, that you don't pass along a case. If it's your case. There's a lot of large law firms that will say, okay, I've got an underling, someone maybe not quite as experienced. I may be the face of this law firm, but I'm not going to handle this one. You take them on, don't you?
Absolutely. Any case we handle in office, it's me. I don't have another attorney that works for me. I have in the past. I just found it wasn't worth it. I ended up doing a lot of the work myself anyway. So it's me, Aaron Whaley, that handles your case, that takes it all the way through, that sits there with you and during depositions, that asks the questions of the other person, that handles the mediation, and ultimately, if we have to put it in front of a jury, that stands in front of the jury and asks them to give you the award that you deserve.
You touched upon the pandemic now. How has that changed things for you? You said it can be a time process. It can be very long, and you got to be patient, that kind of thing. How much is this pandemic? It may have escalated that way. It's made it worse.
It's made it worse. It's absolutely made it worse. Every link in the chain has slowed down. I mean, the courts themselves have been closed for months. I haven't made an actual court appearance since I think early March. So every court appearance we've had now has either been extended out to a later date. I've had trial dates that have come and gone because of that. We've done everything now. We do everything remotely. So I have hearings via Zoom. Sometimes I have hearings versus for a conference call. I've taken Zoom depositions. I actually just scheduled one today, or in the process of scheduling one today. And I really want it to be in person because there's videos that I want to show, and it's to the person I'm deposing, and there's just a lot of extra steps involved when you have to do it via Zoom or conference call or something like that, but it's absolutely lengthened the process.
Once again, Aaron Whaley, the Whaley Law Firm. Not only is he a fantastic attorney, he'll represent you. It's your case, it's his case, but he also is very Derby-esque today. Congratulations on the outfit.
Thank
I love it, Aaron. Looks great on you.
Thanks.
All righty. Aaron Whaley, once again, give them a call if you happen to be in an unfortunate accident. Okay, coming up, hey, you're heading back to work, coronavirus, you need some tips. IBM has the answers next on Wade 3 Listens Live.